rich bitch. Real rich bitch. Real rich bitch. Period.
She was just 17, dancing her way into the hearts of over 500,000 followers. But on a cold January evening in 2025, Saya Turner's vibrant feed went silent forever. One moment, she was filming content with friends. The next, she lay unresponsive in a car outside a busy California mall, a fatal bullet wound in her chest. 4 young men were immediately detained as investigators pieced together her final moments. What led to the shooting of this rising TikTok star? Was it a terrible accident or something more? As comments of disbelief flood her final video, one question echoes through her massive online community. What really happened that night at Los Cerritos Center Mall? If you're interested in true crime stories that examine the human impact behind the headlines, hit subscribe and tap the notification bell right now. Your support helps us continue sharing these important stories. This case brings us to Cerritos, California, a suburban community in Los Angeles County known for its shopping destinations and family-friendly atmosphere. The Los Cerritos Center Mall stands as a popular retail hub where locals and visitors alike gather to shop, dine, and socialize. Despite its reputation as a safe area, what occurred on January 18, 2025, proved that tragedy can unfold anywhere, even in the most ordinary of places. Saya Turner was born on July 11, 2007, in Moreno Valley, California. Those who knew her personally described a warm, nurturing young woman with an infectious energy that translated perfectly to her online presence. By her senior year at Rancho High School, Saya had transformed into Saya, a social media personality whose dance videos and Get Ready With Me content regularly attracted thousands of views.
Y'all ever just wake up and just decide you want to look cute today? So yeah, that's me. I don't know if it's just me, but I just do not like combing my curls out. Like, I just like when it's bouncy like that, but I think I'm gonna just pull them apart by one. Okay, it's cute. Giving or whatever. I'm gonna do an outfit of the day. I got on this right little crop top. I think that's from Forever 21. Puffers from Burlington, but it's Tommy Hilfiger. And then jeans, I got on these Kasubis. Shoes, I got on the Cherry 11. And then beanie is also from Burlington. It's a Tommy Hilfiger. And yeah. So today I'm going to be wearing this perfume right here. Security guard just asked me what perfume I'm wearing. Like, yeah, nigga, it's that good. So my auntie started selling these plates. It's salmon with the broccoli and the rice. I added some corn. And for dessert, she had the, what is it called? Banana pudding. Yeah, I tore it down. So I just got to the Rio because my mom was getting me some pants made for my senior pictures. So we're finna go and pick those up and see what they look like. Cause yeah, you ate, sir.
With 523,000 followers watching her every post, Saya had built a loyal audience who connected with her authentic approach to content creation. She invited viewers into her daily routines, sharing glimpses of her relationship with another TikTok creator and documenting the ordinary moments of teenage life with extraordinary charisma. Her comment sections overflowed with positivity, fans expressing how her videos brighten their days and inspire them to embrace their own creativity. Behind the carefully edited clips and trendy transitions was a high school senior balancing academics with her growing fame. Friends recall how she managed to remain grounded despite her online success, maintaining close relationships and focusing on her future beyond social media. Saya represented what many teenagers aspire to in the digital age: recognition without sacrificing authenticity. What made Saya stand out in the crowded landscape of teenage content creators wasn't just her dance moves or her style. It was her natural ability to connect, to make each viewer feel like they were simply hanging out with a friend. This quality cannot be manufactured, and it explains why her sudden absence left such a profound void for her followers. The evening of January 18th began like countless others at the Los Cerritos Center Mall. Shoppers browsed stores, restaurant-goers enjoyed meals, and groups of teenagers gathered in typical weekend fashion. Nothing about the scene suggested impending tragedy. At approximately 7:30 p.m., the normal hum of mall activity was shattered when Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies received an emergency call reporting gunfire in the parking lot. Responding officers arrived to a chaotic scene, Bystanders clustered around a parked vehicle, some in tears, others frantically trying to help. Inside the car sat Nasaya Turner, unresponsive with a critical gunshot wound to her chest. Also present were 4 young men and another young woman, all appearing shocked and distressed. What had transpired moments earlier would become the focus of an intensive investigation. Jeremy Pagia, managing a nearby restaurant, later recounted the moments following the shooting. Taking a break outside, he witnessed people running toward a parked car, desperate calls for help cutting through the evening air. Among the gathering crowd, a woman identified herself as a nurse and immediately began performing CPR on Nasaya. For nearly 10 minutes, this anonymous healthcare worker fought to save the teenager's life, continuing until paramedics arrived and rushed Nasaya to the hospital. Despite these efforts and the work of hospital staff, the injury proved fatal. Nasaya Turner was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. As news of the shooting spread, Saya's final TikTok video, an innocuous dance routine posted just days before, transformed into a digital memorial. Comments poured in by the thousands, followers expressing disbelief and heartbreak. "I'm still in disbelief. Rest in peace, Sai. We will miss your videos. Rest easy. I will miss learning the dances you do." This was her last TikTok. Rest in peace hashtag. Saya going to miss you forever. What had been a space for lighthearted interaction became a collective grieving ground. Her follower count climbing posthumously as news of her death reached more people. If you're finding this story impactful, please take a moment to hit the like button. It helps others discover this content and supports our channel's mission to shed light on these important stories. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. While social media mourned, law enforcement began a methodical process of uncovering what had happened in the mall parking lot. The 4 young men who had been in the car with Nasaya were immediately detained and questioned. Their identities were not released to public, and authorities remained cautious about sharing details that might compromise their investigation. Lieutenant Steve DeYoung from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department's Homicide Bureau took lead on the case. In his initial statement to media, he confirmed there were no outstanding suspects, but revealed little else about the circumstances surrounding the shooting. "As far as the context and investigation, I can't elaborate," DeYoung stated. "This investigation is going to go on for a while." The Los Cerritos Center Mall had experienced another fatal shooting less than a year prior, raising concerns about security measures. The mall's surveillance system captured footage from the parking lot, providing investigators with crucial evidence of the moments before and after the shooting. Detectives worked through the night, processing the scene until approximately 3 a.m. before the mall resumed normal operations. The Cerritos Sheriff Station utilized social media to manage public response, posting on Instagram for people to avoid the area during evidence collection. Meanwhile, community members struggled to process how a typical Saturday evening had ended so tragically for a beloved local teenager. In the days following Nasaya's death, a vigil materialized near the shooting site. Friends, family members, classmates, and followers gathered with candles, photographs, and handmade tributes. The evening culminated in a release of purple and white balloons, colors chosen to represent Nasaya's vibrant spirit, rising into the night sky as attendees shared memories and comforted one another. What made this case particularly resonant was the intersection of physical and digital grief. While traditional mourning occurred at the vigil, an equally powerful expression of loss unfolded online. Nasaya existed in 2 worlds, as a daughter, student, and friend in her community, and as Saya to hundreds of thousands of followers who had never met her in person but felt genuinely connected to her. Her TikTok account became a digital memorial site, with her follower count climbing even after her death. Many expressed how they had watched her content daily, creating a parasocial relationship that made her loss feel personal even to those who had never met her. This phenomenon reflects the unique nature of grief in the social media age. How the sudden absence of someone whose life was so publicly documented creates a collective mourning experience. For investigators, the case presented unique challenges. With multiple witnesses, security footage, and physical evidence, they had substantial material to work with. Yet questions remained about the exact sequence of events that led to the fatal shot. Was it accidental? Was there a conflict that escalated? Who actually pulled the trigger and why? The presence of 4 young men in the car complicated the investigation. Determining who was responsible and the circumstances surrounding the shooting required careful examination of ballistics evidence, gunshot residue testing, and thorough interviews with everyone present. Law enforcement faced the additional pressure of intense public interest. With Nasaya's large following and the shock of a teenage social media star's death, the case attracted significant attention. Authorities had to balance transparent communication with protecting the integrity of their investigation. As days passed, Nasaya's online presence continued to grow posthumously. Her content, frozen in time, represented a digital footprint that would outlive her physical presence. Fans returned to her videos repeatedly, finding comfort in her familiar smile and energy, leaving new comments as they processed their grief. The phenomenon of digital afterlife adds another dimension to modern tragedies. Nasaya's content remains accessible, her voice, movements, and personality preserved in short video clips that can be replayed indefinitely. This permanence offers both comfort and pain to those who knew her, a complex emotional landscape that previous generations never had to navigate when losing someone. Nasaya's school community at Rancho High School organized counseling services for students struggling with the loss of their classmate. Teachers who had watched her balance academics with her growing online fame remembered a determined student who never let her TikTok success interfere with her education. We're halfway through this story, and I appreciate you staying with us. If you're finding value in this content, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel. Your engagement helps us continue bringing these stories to light. The investigation into Nasaya Turner's death continued methodically. Forensic analysis of the vehicle, ballistics testing, and examination of gunshot residue provided crucial physical evidence. Investigators cross-referenced witness statements with security footage, working to establish a definitive timeline of events. Questions emerged about how the gun came to be in the vehicle and who had access to it. Was it brought deliberately, or was its presence coincidental? These details remain closely guarded by investigators as they built their case. The community's response to Nasaya's death evolved from immediate shock to calls for change. Some advocated for increased mall security measures, while others pointed to broader issues of gun violence affecting young people. Local youth organizations use the tragedy as a catalyst for conversations about conflict resolution and the consequences of firearms access. For content creators who had collaborated with Nasaya, her death prompted reflection on the fragility of life and the digital legacies they were building. Several posted tribute videos, sharing memories and encouraging their audiences to appreciate each day. The TikTok community, often criticized for its superficiality, demonstrated profound capacity for collective grieving and support. The mall where the shooting occurred implemented additional security measures in response, including increased patrol presence and enhanced surveillance. Business owners reported a temporary decline in foot traffic as the community processed what had happened, a common aftermath when violent incidents occur in public spaces. As weeks passed, investigators continued their work away from public view. Lieutenant Dion maintained his initial position of limited public disclosure, emphasizing the importance of thorough investigation over quick resolution. This approach, while frustrating to those seeking immediate answers, reflected standard procedure in complex cases involving multiple potential witnesses and suspects. For Nasaya's family, the dual burden of private grief and public attention created additional challenges. While finding comfort in the outpouring of support from her followers, they also faced the difficult reality of their daughter's passing being discussed by strangers online. Family members requested privacy while expressing gratitude for the positive impact Nasaya had on so many people through her content. The case highlighted how social media fame creates unique vulnerabilities. Had Nasaya not been a recognized TikTok personality, her death might have received less attention. Instead, her status elevated a personal tragedy to a widely discussed event, placing additional pressure on investigators and family members alike. Law enforcement officials carefully managed information release, aware that details shared publicly could influence witness statements or complicate future legal proceedings. This standard practice often appears as secrecy to a public accustomed to immediate information, creating tension between investigative integrity and transparency. For the 4 young men initially detained at the scene, the investigation would determine their level of involvement and potential legal consequences. Authorities continued interviewing them and examining physical evidence to establish responsibility for the fatal shot. Their identities remain protected, particularly given the heightened public interest in the case. As months passed, Nasaya's online legacy continued to evolve. Fan accounts emerged dedicated to preserving her content, creating compilation videos, and keeping her memory alive. Her influence extended beyond her lifetime, with many citing her as inspiration for their own creative endeavors. The investigation into Nasaya Turner's death remains ongoing. As of this report, no formal charges have been filed, though authorities continue pursuing leads and analyzing evidence. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department maintains that they are committed to determining exactly what happened in the car that evening and holding responsible parties accountable. For those who followed Saya, her final video stands as an unintentional goodbye. A 17-year-old simply doing what she loved, unaware that it would be her last contribution to a platform that had become central to her identity. The comments section continues to fill with messages, creating a digital monument to a life cut tragically short. As we conclude this story, we extend our deepest condolences to everyone impacted by Nasaya Turner's passing. Her story reminds us of life's unpredictability and the profound connections formed in digital spaces. If this story resonated with you, please support our channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing with others. Your engagement helps us continue examining these important cases with care and respect. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in our next video.